are we now? Well, what day is it? Give me a day. Okay, any day will do. Tuesday. Yeah, that's a day. But Tuesday we were in Dublin, that's where you picked up your little friend. So Wednesday we got on the plane back to Brisbane. Well, that explains the light. And it must be Friday. Oh. You always lose a day when you go back to Brisbane, not just me, everybody does. That's how it works. Oh, God. Come on, you silly old woman. Where are my teeth? Oh, God. Come on, Teasy Pig, where are you? Come out wherever you are. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. As if that's ever gonna happen again. Oh! Oh, my goodness, look at you. Oh, have you been here long? Oh, I'm so sorry. I came here straight from the airport, and there was no one around, so I just crashed, and I think I'm a bit, what's that word? You know when you've been on the plane and you get off and then it's like the propellers or, oh no, they don't do propellers anymore, do they? Oh God, I can't remember the last time I was on a plane that had propellers. What do they call them? That was those rockets. Rocket lagged. Doesn't sound right. Anyway, so you're here for the sonnets, the lecture? Yes, because Shakespeare's sonnets, why wouldn't you? So, I'm sorry, I'm June Bloom, I'm the one who's supposed to be giving the lecture. I am giving the lecture, but I mean, are you early or am I late? Has anyone got the time? 22. Oh no! Oh, good grief. Okay, I'll get myself. I'll get my head back in a minute. I'll give you a sonnet to be going on with. Let me think. Oh yeah. Oh, well, right. Is this one appropriate or what? That time of year, thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs that shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs, where once the sweet birds sang. Something's missing. Oh! Oh my goodness. Oh. that image of the bare branches stripped of their leaves, where flocks of birds once sang their sweet hearts out. A wonderful analogy for the state of my poor brain right now, where myriads of bright ideas and sparkling thoughts once glittered back and forth across my synapses, and now there's just a straggler or two struggling to make a connection across the cavern. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all the rest. Oh, Shakespeare doesn't just do puns. That's a double pun. That's like death's second self, sleep. It seals up all the rest. It's like a practice run every night for Death himself, who takes care of all the rest. Yes, because there's more. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire as on the ashes of its youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. Oh, I love it, though. It's so gloriously circuitous, the way he turns the images in on themselves, from the glow nestling in the ashes that once were fiery, youthful coals, and it's definitely going to die out because it has basically eaten itself. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love most strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. Well, let's face it, when you gotta go, you gotta go. But as my soul sister Molly Bloom would say, for God's sake, let us have a little bit of fun first. Right now, so what have we got here? I think that stuff there is not mine. There must be another show on here later on. Pantomime, perhaps? I don't know. This is mine. Oh my goodness, my mother would be appalled. Me leaving such a mess. Ugh. This little guy's mine. This is Teddy Edward. He's been my traveling companion for the past 4 months. He was a present from my grandson, Jerome. And this is Liam the lamb that he picked up in Dublin Airport. Not too sure about this relationship. This is mine. I've been learning to play the ukulele. So this little beauty's been traveling around the world with me in my suitcase all these months, and I've been practicing. I'm no great shakes as a singer, and as you can tell, my jet-lagged voice is not in wonderful shape. But I can't seem to stop myself from writing songs. Something I've been doing ever since I was a little girl, and someone's got to perform them. Got it. Trees are green, or so they seem. Skies are blue, it's what they do. Roads are grey, they fade away like you do. Ooh. I started writing this song one time driving up the side of a mountain range somewhere. No idea what it was about, where it was going, just doodle in my head, as you do. Days are long, but I drive on. In a bridge or two, I'll be over you. Some starry night, I'll see the light right through you. I think it's starting to sound a little bit like a love song, a leaving my lover kind of song. I'm heading over the range, down to the plain. There'll be a boat or a bus or a train to take me someplace when nobody knows me like you do. Oh, it's starting to sound as if maybe it's not a leaving my lover, maybe it's a leaving my mother kind of song. See where it goes. Nights are black, there's no turning back. Come the dawn, I'll be long gone. I've time to kill, but I won't stay still like you do. Oh, tricky. I think, what do you think? Leaving a lover or leaving a mother? Let's have a vote. Who thinks it could be leaving a lover? Making a couple, 3, 4, ooh. So do the rest of you actually think it might be leaving a mother? Either or? Yeah, could be. Interesting. Different opinions. down to the sea. There'll be a job just waiting for me, and people who like to do things that I like, not like you do. Oh, I tell you what, by the time I get up to this in the song, I am having flashbacks to being 18 and leaving home in control of my life. But of course the thing is, by now, just like the teenager, the song already has a life of its own. It's veered right away from my experience, or how I remember it, which is not necessarily to say that's the way it happened. But it's about someone with whom I have a lot in common, but it's not me. For one thing, when I left home, I made damn sure I had a good job waiting for me before I left. Nights are still black, still no turning back. Come the dawn, I'll be good and strong. Might take a while to find my style. If I stuff up, I'll just knock back the cup. There'll be no commotion as I drink the potion that is my special brew. Me and Socrates. I'll finally learn to face life on my own terms. You got it. Like you do. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, it really doesn't matter, does it, whether you think the song is about a lover's breakup or a kid leaving home. I mean, don't get me wrong, it matters that we all have some idea of what the song might be about, but it doesn't matter that we might have different ideas, different interpretations. And while I didn't exactly run away from home when I was 18, I left with my mother's full permission, encouragement even. It was the beginning of my life as a wanderer. I set off with no intention of ever going back. No one asked me to, and I didn't. I hate going back. And I confess, when I set off on this last world tour, I did not want to come back to Brisbane. You who find your homeland sweet are but a tender novice. When every soil is as your native soil, you are already potent. And you for whom the entire world is as a foreign land, and you have extinguished your love of all places, you are perfect. Hugo de Saint-Victoire, 12th century French mystic. Which doesn't necessarily mean I don't miss you all when I'm somewhere else. I miss everyone when I'm somewhere else. Oh, never say that I was false at heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart as from my soul, which in thy breast doth lie. That is my home of love. If I have range, like him that travels, I return again just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Water for my stain. Do you know, that line catches me out every time, and I keep meaning to go back and figure out what's going on there, and I keep forgetting. So this is as good a time as any to drill down or unpack it, as the academics like to say. The first quatrain, I think, is pretty straightforward. Oh, I'm sorry, does everybody know what a quatrain is? Is the word familiar to you? No? Oh, great, I love giving people new words. So it's simply the term that we use to describe a 4-line verse of poetry. So if the verse has got 4 lines, it's a quatrain. And Shakespeare's sonnet, does anybody know how many quatrains there are? How many? 3, that's right. So 3 4s are 12, and then we have finished it off with a rhyming couplet. So each sonnet has 14 lines, 3 sets of 4, and the little doublet couplet at the end. Okay? So good. That's the structure. I'm glad we got that sorted. So, as I was saying, the first quatrain is quite direct, I think. Oh, never say that I was false at heart, unfaithful, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. Just because I've been away, flirting maybe, it doesn't mean my passion has cooled. As easy might I from myself depart, as from my soul which in thy breast doth lie. So you are the keeper of my very soul. Oh, hang on. Shakespeare differentiates between the self and the soul. Wow. There's a PhD thesis in that for somebody. Maybe they've already done it. I should look it up. So that's the first quatrain. Now the second quatrain reinforces this idea. If that is my home of love, if I have ranged, like him that travels, I return again just to the time. So whatever I do, wherever I go, I come back to the exact instant, the same as when I left. My soul hasn't gone anywhere, so it can't have changed. So I return again just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Here we go again, water for my stain. Water doesn't stain, it's just water. It's, oh, I've just thought, oh, duh, okay. So, did you ever have one of those beautiful silk shirts that you pick up in Hong Kong? Maybe it was Singapore. I know my son was quite small at the time. And you spilt water on it and it left this mark, and nothing will get rid of it. And even though you know it's just water, it looks awful. Something beautiful has been irreparably damaged, and you can't even blame anyone else because you did it yourself. And no, I can't go back and get another one. Oh, as if you could ever not be changed by anything you've ever said or done. Oh dear. Hey, just imagine if you could, time travel into the past or the future, get up to all sorts of nonsense and adventures, and then come back and nothing has changed because nothing actually happened. So there is no paradox, except that you now have the memory of it. How cool would that be? But then that's just daydreaming, isn't it? Yes, because I should know I'm very good at that. Oh, this is so pretty. Look, isn't that cute? When I was a little girl, my mother used to say, we don't put June into frilly things. She's not that kind of a girl. I wonder what kind of a girl I was, really. How did I get from there to here? I know what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a free spirit. That was never going to happen. I was way too much of a goody-goody, always trying to not annoy my mother, so I got to be very good at daydreaming. In fact, I even wrote a song about it. I was probably in my 40s when I wrote this, or my 50s, maybe even my 60s, but who's counting? Wise enough to know that dreaming is the only way to go. So I take them to places in my heart, places where I dare not go alone. And only when the handsome faces fall apart can I return to find my fears have gone. And I am wise beyond my fears, after wine amongst my peers. Courage in another's strife is much more potent and less lonely when it's Dutch. I'm giving up the blues. What have I got to lose but my heart? Drop my guard, let music take control. It would be a start. And I've been told I'll never have love to match the love I give. If I thought that was so, I'd settle here and now for any love that's going anyhow. But I have dreams of handsome men behind my eyes, beneath my pen, each one wise enough to know that dreaming is the only. Don't you tell me I'm lonely. Dreaming is the only way to go. Thank you. Oh, God save us. I didn't finish that sonnet. Oh, lose my head if it weren't screwed on. Oh, it was all that water for my stain stuff, wasn't it? Well, whether he means I don't want to have to bring water back to stain myself, or I don't want to have to bring water back to wash out the stain that I've left behind, you decide. It goes on. Never believe, though in my nature reigned all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it, my blood, could so preposterously be stained to leave for nothing all thy sum of good. For nothing this wide universe I call, save thou, my rose, in it thou art my all. So even if I were the most disgusting, depraved individual in all the winters of our discontentednesses, there is absolutely nothing I could do that could diminish your fabulousness, because you are my universe, my expanding universe. Everywhere I go, you are there. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, and sable curls all slivered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see, barren of leaves, that erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly beard. Oh, herd, beard. Doesn't rhyme. That's not right. Shakespeare's sonnets are supposed to rhyme. It says in the good book, here we are, Shakespeare's sonnets always rhyme. Well, maybe you don't have to believe everything you read in a book. But it just gives me an idea how I might demonstrate this for you. Let me see. Oh, this is cute. That's cute too. Ooh, very cute. Okay. Let me see. When lofty trees I see, barren of leaves, that erst from heat did canopy the herd. I know, that is just the stereotype I don't know why it is in this day and age people still seem to think that Shakespeare's characters who aren't aristocrats are somehow as thick as two short planks and all speak with very, very broad Devonshire, Cornish, whatever it is, accents. I've no idea what I did just then. Okay, so to prove my point, I have to make myself elegant. So bye-bye, pretty little thing. I should buy myself pretty things with frills on them. Why not? Oh, this is elegant. This looks elegant. How's that? Is that elegant? Yeah? I'll put my boots on. Try and look like a proper lady, as my mother would say. Oh, a scarf. That'll help. I need all the help I can get. How's that? When lofty trays I see, barren alaves, that erst from hate did canopy the herd, and summer's grain all girded up in shaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly baird. Haired, baird. That rhymes. So that is my rough approximation of the linguist, David Crystal's rough approximation of what Shakespeare might have sounded like back in the day. A sort of a mixture of a base of Warwickshire informed by all the other voices that he would have encountered during his time in London. Can't prove it, of course, but there were no recording devices back then, apart from the written word. But I think it's it's crystal clear that for Shakespeare, they would have rhymed. Moving on. Then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the waste of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing gainst time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence. Shakespeare, the early evolutionist. We live on in our descendants. He's obviously pretty confident that he'll be remembered through his words, of course. He doesn't say he has to breed, he says you do that, do that, you know. So now, but then again, he must have been aware that his words would be reinterpreted through the generations. We've no more control over how our words will be interpreted than we have over what our kids think of us or how they remember us. I tell you what I thought of my mother when I was 6 years old. I wish I were adopted almost every day. Then my real life mother would come and take me away. She'd love me and she'd care for me. She'd read to me each night. She'd let me sleep till lunchtime and she'd never turn out the light. Oh, I'm telling you, something's very wrong. I shouldn't be here, I do not belong. This family is really weird, they kidnapped me at birth, 'cause I'm the child of the totally wild queen of Middle Earth. We read a lot of English literature back in the day. I'm sure that I'm adopted, I heard my mother say. She never wanted children, they just get in the way. She tries to lie and tell me, but I'm so glad I had you. She's quite a clever actress, but I know it's not true. I know that I'm adopted, I feel it in my bones. Fake mum really hates me, she never leaves me alone. She talks to all my teachers, and she believes it's true that homework and broccoli are really good for you. Oh, I'm join in if you feel like it. Telling you something's very wrong. I shouldn't be here. I do not belong. This family is really weird. They kidnapped me at birth. 'Cause I'm the child of a totally wild queen of Middle Earth. Oh, change of mode. Oh, sad. I feel that I'm adopted almost all the time. I think I'll have to run away. It would be sublime. Had a pretty good vocabulary for a 6-year-old too. To find my proper mother, who'd always let me play with water and with matches. And in the driveway, I'm sure that I'm adopted. It has to be the truth. The fake mum's really ruthless. Well, I'm just full of Ruth. A real mum's on her way here. I'm sure it won't be long. In fact, she's coming through that door before I finish this song. Ho, 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 ho. Telling you something very wrong. I shouldn't be here. I do not belong. This family is really weird. They kidnapped me at birth. 'Cause I'm the fairest, longest, dearest, sweet and cuddly, cute and lovely. I'm the child of a totally wild queen of Middle Earth. Thank you. Oh, true story. I was sitting in the outside dunny one. Oh, does everybody know what a dunny is? It's a good old Australian term for the outside toilet in the backyard. Water closet. So there I am. That's how old I am. We still have them. I'm sitting in the outside dunny and I'm thinking, my mother doesn't love me. I bet I could cry and cry and cry and she wouldn't even bother to come and find out what was wrong with me. So I did. Fake bawling for about half an hour. It was probably half a minute, but it felt like it. Stop that noise in there. My mother banging on the dunny door. Stop that noise in there. I rest my case. I wrote a sonnet, you know. Yeah, I thought, why should Shakespeare have all the fun just because he's good and dead? So here it is, my sonnet dedicated to Brisbane. Most mornings at the buzzing of my phone, as magpies drink the early morning light, I wake to find my flesh, my skin, my bones, reluctant to escape the dreaming night. I like to be reminded in good time that I exist, that I am really here, all present and correct in form and mind, not just a shadow or a figment in the rear view mirror, speeding from the avalanche of years, expanding backwards, rear-ending me into the cavern of years, collapsing down on... Hold on a minute. That's no a sonnet. That's an angry old lady ranting. I will finish it one of these days, though. I've already got the rhyming couplet all organised. It goes like this. But I've been here before, and it was real. And realising that is no big deal. This, however, is a very big deal. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Gosh me, all those colours. Oh, oh, see that pink? See that? My first dance. I lusted after that pink. My mother hated it, but I got it. People don't have first dances anymore, do they? It's something, no. I'm always the oldest person in the room. I was 14, I was at a girls' boarding school, and so they invited the boys' boarding school over for the dance. And all the girls are lined up on one side of the room, and all the boys are lined up on the other side of the room, and you can't dance unless somebody comes and asks you. And nobody does. And I tell you what, the years go by and it doesn't get any easier. This is the Wallflowers song. Do you see me? Am I really here? Do you hear me? Could I be more clear? If you touched me, would I survive? How can I thrive when my skin is so alive? Could you want me? What are questions that? Would you haunt me if I turn my back? Hoping, dreading, longing for the chance to find out what the books mean when they speak of romance. When will it be my turn to dance the night away with a boy who isn't pimply, a boy who isn't gay? I just want a boy, but not any boy will do. It must be a boy who looks like you. Don't see me, I'm not really here. I can't hear you, my ears are full of fear. You are walking up to me to ask me for the name of the girl who stands and twirls into your arms, and I will prove again that I am the greatest giver-upper in the world. When it comes to resignation, I claim the designation. I've given up on diets, I've given up on men, I've even given up on myself now and then. Oh yes, I am the greatest giver-upper in the world. If there's defeat around, I'll take it lying down. All the losers, I'm the queen, I'm the best that's ever been. And if you don't believe me, I will show you what I mean. Except, I've given that up too. I had given up totally, retirement they call it. Sinking slowly into the grave, I call it. Watching other people's kids playing in the backyard, watching other people on stage playing. Oh. So when my agent showed up and asked me if I'd just do one more world tour, I did not take much persuading. Oh, with New York in it? Come on. New York, I love it. It's exciting, it's electric, it's challenging. It's full of actors, did you know that? People think Los Angeles is full of actors. No, Los Angeles, movie stars. But New York, actors. Oh, that reminds me. As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fears put besides his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength's abundance weakens his own heart, so I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, and in mine own love's strength seem to decay, or charge with burden of mine own love's might. Oh, let my books be then the eloquence and dumb presages of my speaking breast, who plead for love and look for recompense more than that tongue that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ. To hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit. That is a classic sonnet. It's like a lemon meringue pie with 3 layers. The pastry case that holds it all together, that's the structure, with the 3 quatrains that set out the argument, rounded off by the resolution of the rhyming couplet. The fluffy meringue on top, that's the apparent simplicity of the analogy between the fearful actor who has a problem and the fearful lover who also has a problem. But the sweet, tart, lemony custard layer in the middle, that's where it goes deeper. Because this is not just about some actor who can't remember the lines. Oh, no. This is an actor who has failed to rehearse effectively. Because, there's so much more to remembering the lines than simply knowing just the words. There's always so much more to know and to remember. And remembering is slimy, it's slippery, And as for anyone who actually believes that there is only one perfect way to express one's love, that love is coming from a very deep sense of insecurity, a belief that one is unworthy of being loved. Oh, they loved that one in New York. Shakespeare ripping into actors. But he's right. Fear does that to you. It strips you bare. No, not you, Bear. Bear. So that you lose all sense of yourself in the present moment, being there. And then, since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wreckful siege of battering days, when rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays. Oh, fearful meditation, where, alack, shall time's best treasure from time's chest lie hid? Or what strong hand can hold his swift foot back? Or who his spoil of beauty can forbid? Oh, none, unless this miracle hold might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright. Nothing lasts. Even Shakespeare has to admit it would take a miracle for his words in print to survive. Well, what was it Molly Bloom said? For God's sake, let us have a little bit of fun first. What else can I put on here that would piss off my mother? And my grandson. Oh, look. Is it wings? Yes, it is. Young people these days, they're so conventional. I don't know. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Hey. I'm a fairy, I'm a little fairy. I'm a little old to be a fairy, but who gives up? Oh, I'm not just a fairy. I'm the fairy queen. Wait for it, wait for it. Aha! Oh boy. Yay! Whew! Eat your heart out, Titania. Oh, it's a long, long time since I played Titania. That sounds like a song. Let me see. See if I can work it into a song in the key of what? C. My favorite key. Let me see. It's many, many years since I played the Fairy Queen, which heralded the end of my midsummer night's dreaming. But I staggered on to spite them for a time, playing fairies in the Christmas pantomime. I loved the sequin frocks, not so much the stiletto heels, or the poison-belching fog machines, fog machines, or the traps that shot me on stage between the lover's tryst and the comic's routine. And I loved the Act 3 reveals. Well, I tell you what I loved even more than that. I loved demolishing the wily wicked wizard. Boys and girls, have you seen him? He's very green, and he's wily, and he's very wicked. And I think he might be... Is he?
It's behind you.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is.
No. Oh, my goodness. Wily wicked wizard, you've done it again. You creep up on me like that. It's so mean. Now, you apologize to the boys and girls for being mean. Oh, you want to fight, do you? Oh, okay, here we go. Ooh, ooh, okay, all right, you want to play dirty. Oh, death by kookaburra. Oh, there, sorted him out. Eat your heart out, Cumberbatch. Oh, I know. Nobody wants an old fairy. At least not the kind that I could play. I suppose with senility impending, hips and knees in need of mending, I should get with the times and put my rhymes to good use in the most modern way, because it's all about rap now, isn't it? Well, how hard can it be? I'm going to have a go. You're going to make funny noises, don't you? Okay, here we go. No one loves an ancient fairy, not even if she's really hairy, because that would just be scary. And even contrary, because a fairy with a beard, well, that's just weird. It isn't cute to be hirsute. That is not an attribute that I would recommend to a friend on Facebook, where I go to chase crooks like the wily wicked wizard who is still on my casebook. Hey, come here, you. Sit down. Ooh, okay, right. Now, lie down. Oh, I think he's scared of me. Roll over. Oh, you're so cute. You're such a big cutie. Yes. Oh, all right. Stop. Stay. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. No one loves a fairy that's oldie, because she will just be mouldy and coldy, and her joints will ache, and she'll maybe break her hip, and she can't hop, and that's not hip, no, because it's a rule that fairies should be perky, not twerky like Miley. Oh, you people. But more like Kylie. Quirky. She might be getting on, but she's no turkey. So, a fairy don't need to be flex. She don't need a reason. She can still want sex. She don't need a reason. She don't need juvenescence. That goes with adolescence. As long as she's got effervescence, she ain't headed for obsolescence. So, a fairy, she ain't tragic. She don't need gadgets or even Plantagenets to fly around the world. Oh, goodness gracious me. What am I thinking? Except I did. I did fly around the world. That's what I did. I didn't go back. There is no going back. I did exactly what I've always done. I kept going until I got to here with you, beautiful people, exactly where I'm supposed to be. Oh, boy. Oh. Let those who are in favor with their stars of public honors and proud titles boast, while I, whom fortune of such triumph bars, unlooked for, joy in that I honor most. Great princes' favorites their fair leaves spread, but as the marigold in the sun's eye, and in themselves their pride lies buried. For at a frown they in their glory die. The painful warrior, famous for fight, after 1,000 victories once foiled, is from the book of honors razored quite, and all the rest forgot for which he toiled. Then happy I, that love and am beloved, where I may not remove, nor be removed. So love conquers all? I don't think so. Just be content that we love and are beloved. I'm reminded of something a young Russian actor once said to me in St. Petersburg. Well, he was probably in his 40s, but he was young to me. He was trying to explain to me the nature of the Russian soul. He said, Totya June, that means Auntie June, term of respect for older ladies. Totya June, we Russians believe that life is hard and you must work hard. And then if you're lucky, you steal a little time with your family, your loved ones. Chekhov makes a lot of sense when you understand that. He doesn't do happy endings any more than Shakespeare does. That's not what they're about. They're not about endings, they're about life. My mother understood that. I actually wrote a song for her a few years ago. See if I can remember it. When I was young, I wondered why you hid yourself from me. I tried to find the woman your friends thought you to be. They'd tell me how you made them laugh, and they made you laugh too. I thought they must be kidding. It didn't sound like you. To me you seemed remote and cool. You never cared to touch. So when I went away to school, I didn't mind so much. You let me go so easily, and I thought, I don't mind, why should I? It's just another place I leave behind. So I went off determined to never be like you. I'd laugh and play with my kids. I'd kiss and hug them too. But I found myself repeating things that you had said to me. I tried to say them kindly. I tried to let them be the best that they can be, not stunted the way I seem to be. And then at last I grew up and found I could let you go. I'm glad to be the woman that you have come to know. I find that I can make you laugh, and you make me laugh too. You took the time to find me, and I'm glad I found you. Well, we must be just about out of time. But before we go, there's one more sonnet I'd like to leave with you. He starts it with but. What would our grammar English teachers think of that? But be contented. But be contented when that fell arrest, without all bale shall carry me away. My life hath in this line some interest, which for memorial's sake still with thee shall stay. When thou reviewest this, thou dost review the very part was consecrate to thee. The earth can have but earth, which is its due. My spirit is thine, the better part of me. So then thou hast but not the dregs of life, the prey of worms, my body being dead, the wretched conquest of a coward's knife, too base for thee to be remembered. The worth of that is that which it contains, and that is this, and this with thee remains. Thank you.
Really enjoyed it.
Oh,
It was a lovely journey with her.
and I want to know the names, the numbers of the sonnets that she chose.
I'd like to know the numbers of the sonnets, and I'd like to see her script.
Yes, me too.
Well, no, yeah, okay, we've got to look after ourselves.
Beautiful flown, and I'm going to dress up as a fairy for my grandchild. I thought she pulled that one off wonderfully.
Because we said the older you get, ridiculousness comes into life anyway, and so, and to be careful. And it was wonderful. And hooray, she played Titania, what a role she played. And the wallflower, yes.
Brought back memories. Yeah.
There were lots of lovely songs. And
Handsome Men I enjoyed.
Handsome Men I enjoyed.
The daydreaming and
The daydreaming. The feeling that I must have been adopted.
Yes.
Because actually, I personally had blue blood.
I was a gypsy.
Different thing.
I was the daughter of the king of the gypsies.
And I feel there should have been an older audience in there. It would have been lovely because she definitely takes you through a journey that we've been on if you have arrived. And I wish my mother had been here.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Brilliant. Right. How did you find this evening?
It was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. It was like it just brought back memories of childhood as well, and kind of really related to the things that she said. Obviously, Adam, my son's here with me, so he might have had a completely different impression, but it made me think back to when I was a child.
I definitely had the same sort of, it was very coming with your mum, and some of the most of the topics were very like family orientated and relationships between one another and time, even time and how it affects you and how it's affected her. I found it fascinating and really, and her spark was quite inspiring as well.
I love the way she changed her accents through the whole, like different accents each time she was talking about a different section.
What do you think of Dame June Bloom then?
She just had a lovely spirit. So there was comedy in there, there was pathos in there, and every time it started to feel like it was getting a little sad, suddenly we burst into song.
Only when you acted.
Oh, okay. Yes, because. What to say about Yes, because? It's wonderful. It's like a love sonnet to the audience. I don't know how to explain it, but Dame June stands there on stage and not only has this wonderful way of unpacking all the sonnets, she ties them into her life, but they resonate with the audience's life as well. And I found it particularly moving looking at the parent-child relationships from the mother-daughter. I saw the play with my son, and he turned to me afterwards and he said, "You know, Mum, not really about Shakespeare, is it? It's about life." But of course, as Dame June shows us, Shakespeare is all about life, and not about endings, and not about the happily ever after, but about the journey and the being in the moment.